guys, welcome back to part 2 of this 3D modeling tutorial. In the first part of this tutorial, you'll remember we modeled this low poly style hand granata, also known as the World War II stick grenade. Now the next step is the UV unwrapping, although probably everyone's least favorite part. It's also just as important, if not more important, than any of the other steps. So what is a UV unwrap? Essentially, we have to take a 3D model and project it onto a flat plane. So whatever program we use for texturing, Photoshop or a 3D texturing program like Substance Painter, it knows where to project the information such as color, metalness and roughness and so forth. So an example of how that would look is we have this box, and then essentially that's made flat, and then this is what we would texture on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the individual parts of the model and just kind of blow out. This allows me to see all of the edges when I set up the UV map. So let's split this up, bring the cap down, put the grid on, and now this is ready to UV unwrap. Now for me, I've got it set up on the buttons here, so I simply UV unwrap, add some modifier, and we can open it. And now it's not there. Sometimes it does this, I'm not sure why, but how I fix that is we'll just delete the modifier, unselect the mesh, and apply it again. We can see it's worked now because we can see it's added these edges on. And now here we can see it's projected the model flat. However, you can see there's a lot of overlapping, which is what we want to avoid because we don't want the same, essentially it'll apply the same texture over that point on the map. And obviously if you've got wood and then a metallic section, you don't want to have them overlapping. So let's first start off with the handle section. So on the right, the main window, I'm going to select seams. I'm actually going to start simply by deselecting. So I'm going to hold Alt, and then I'm going to create a new one going from here. Cool. And then we select all the faces. And then we can pelt and relax. And we can see we've got an unwrap of this here. Now to check that we've got no texture stretching, we'll go on the top panel here, UV texturing, you see it projects it here. So ideally we want it to be the same size on these grids all the way through. However, you can see here we've got some funky warping, but we should be fine. So and we could straighten that out. Have it create some funky stuff on this face. I think it'll be fine like that. But now it's only a small asset, so it's not something that'll be noticeable. Now we're going to shrink this down, and that would sit inside this texture space. These. So pop that in. Now next we have these cylinders, and I think the best thing to do, we can just have all of these nice and easy. Cool. Now that's all of them ones done. Now we will do the end cap. Obviously we've got the main face across the bottom, which is going to have to be its own separate island. We're just going to create a new seam. Oh, goes all the way around. And then also we want to bring one up. Now we've got all these edges selected. I'm gonna pelt this surround section along the bottom. You can see it's wonky. Oop. And then again, we're gonna pelt this so we get the circular base. And voila. Now you'll notice these are all not to scale. We'll fix that later on once we've got everything unwrapped nicely. And next we have do this part separated out. Now actually I'm thinking this would be better if we just keep as a loop, so we're gonna go mapping, button mapping, okay. And you can see we've got a perfect circle. And we can see that projects nicely. These grids on the model itself. So I think that's the cap done. We've got these bits done. And now we've got to do the grenade head. So we're going to work our way from the bottom to the top, so I'm going to select these bottom faces. I should do a loop, hold shift and click. Now I'm thinking about where I want that seam. And I don't think a seam here will be that visible as it's on the ink on the crease. We'll pelt. That should give us a nice circle. Cool. Next we want to keep all of the unwraps down this seam so we can hide that at the back of the render. So again, I'm gonna go up to yeah. And again, we will do a belt, make a nice cylinder. Down, flip that around. And then again for these ones. Do fine mapping to get that circular. Do the same for the top. So you can see because it's awkwardly long, it wasn't pelting well, so we just used the make straight tool, and that seems to have done a good enough job for now. Then we continue around. Same again here. Make sure it's got the same here. That's not what we want, so we're gonna again make sure it has the seam. Select these faces again. Okay, better. Gonna straighten that out. And for this bottom, keep it as a cylinder. And with this edge here, I'm probably gonna have the seam on the corner, where it'll be least noticeable. So here, make sure our seams are in. Edges out. We will have to straighten that out again. Down. Now the next top. Gonna flatten this one. Nice. Then we will pelt. Let's make sure we've got our seam in place. From here. Here. Again, it's following the same seam down the back. Hide this behind on any renders. Okay, now pack UVs. Cool. Do that again. I noticed that the wooden handle is skipped out a bit. I'll quickly repel that. Again, pack UVs. Want to fill holes. There we go. There's our unwrapped model ready for texturing. Now this is a lot easier than most because it's quite a basic model. So let me make a quick material. Save. Always save, because you don't want it crashing. So now I've gone and dropped a basic square texture so we can see any distortions, and it looks fine to me. Make sure all the grids are to scale, and that's looking good. So when I collapse that UV down and then squeeze all these bits back together. And now we have this done here. If we click on a turbo smooth, that's a bit ugly. Like I said, that's hidden at the back for a reason. So now we have a model that's fully unwrapped and ready to texture.